I am coming at you way later, weeks later after that book fair. Uh, I realized I didn't had a closing clip or anything like that. Honestly, when I came back home, I was very tired. So from the city that I live in and the city that hosts that book fair, it's like an hour and 15 minutes of a drive and is constantly going up into the mountains because it's one of the cities that is pretty high up in the mountains of Puerto Rico. Um, so it took me a while, and it's not a road. It's the first time that I drove that road in my entire life. Um, so there's not a lot of clips because I have to be like very careful. A lot of like mountain roads here because we are a small island. The roads can be pretty small. Let me see if I can clip this and let's see if it works. Hopefully it will work. But yeah, anyways, so yeah, they were quite tight, and those are kind of like main roads. So you will see like trucks, like construction trucks, driving those roads. So a lot of times I will have to like get really close to the edge and stop and let the truck pass so then I could keep driving. So it was a tricky drive, but we made it. Once I was there, you saw a couple of the clips of that I like walked the tables and things like that. But I usually go to a specific bookstore that is also a publisher here in Puerto Rico because I am friends with two of their authors. One of their author, I know them from K-pop. We have seen each other. We may have say hi, but we never had like a huge conversation because our friendship groups in the K-pop community were very different. Um, but then we reconnected when I saw them uh, republish a YA fantasy. So let me show you the first book. They are in Spanish, just to let you know. So this is the first book, and this is the third edition. This is the edition they published with um, his their current publisher. Um, so I got this at a book fair that they did in my city. So I went and met them there, and then I was in this book fair and we were talking, and I'm like, let me get the second book because the third book is slotted to publish next year. So I'm like, I hopefully will be able to like already read this two books by the time the third one is out. We shall see. You guys know I'm struggling with the reading, but I got the second book. So this is the second book. Also, it won a honorable mention in the International Latino Book Awards. So I got, and all of them are signed by them. Perusing. This is the. I had a lot of fun with them. We talk a lot. They are doing Twitch too. More like they are doing like gaming and bringing more of their author, writer, creator friends who game too. And they have kind of like a chat. I almost never can be there because they stream on Twitch when I'm streaming on YouTube. Um, but I know that's what they are doing. We were talking about Twitch and all these sorts of things. We also peruse a lot of the tables together, and they are kind of like the person who knows almost everybody and has befriended almost everybody. They are very extroverted. Um, so I enjoy, you know, walking around, seeing new people, um, meeting new artists, authors, things like that. But while I was perusing the table of that specific bookstore, that it is a publisher here in Puerto Rico, I saw this. It is called Andújar, the Rebel Gentleman of San Juan by Carolina Cardona. I saw this and I was like, I have to get it. Like, I have to get it. I am Andújar. Like, come on. And the author was there, so I got to meet her and talked with her. She signed up the book too, and we had a lovely talk about, you know, the research that she has done into the Andújar family, and how kind of like they went from Spain to like coming here and the different, depending on which island. So, um, and even here in Puerto Rico, depending on which city the Andújar is coming from, it might be your family, it might be just a cousin, lost cousin. But if you're an Andújar from like Dominican Republic, or if you're an Andújar from Cuba, they're different, kind of like branches. So this is kind of like a steampunk fantasy romance. Pretty much focus on two Andújar characters of this family she has built in inspiration of all of her research into the Andújar family, and our heritage. She is not Andújar. Her partner is an Andújar, and we were talking that she had a university professor that was Andújar, so both last names were Andújar. So that was funny, a little hilarious, and she was like, they were dead gorgeous. Uh, so that was a funny conversation. But yeah, this one is in English. She does have them in both languages, Spanish and English, and I grabbed the English one because when I was like looking, a lot of other people were looking, but they were like looking into the Spanish version, and I'm like, I could read either, but if most of the people looking and being interested in the book prefer the Spanish version, I'm gonna take the English, so there's gonna be more copies of the Spanish. Even though I don't know how many copies they had of each language, but yeah, it was funny because the next day my brother came to visit, and I showed him the book, and he was like, as soon as you're done, please lend it to me. I do want to read it. So I'm gonna try to read this as soon as possible so I can pass it to my brother and he can read it. So those were I behave myself, and I only bought those two books. Those are the only two books that I got. There were so many books of so many genres. Like there was fantasy, paranormal, sci-fi, there were epic fantasies, there were children's books, YA books, comic books. It was a lot of. There was a variety. There was, I think they say there were like over 100 authors in that book fair. All of them Puerto Rican authors. I was like mind blown. The majority of the books were in Spanish, but there were a few in English. Also, there were a lot of bookstores that had their tables there. So there were a lot of like trap pop books translated, like translations in Spanish. I saw a lot of like TikTok popular books there translated in Spanish, like they were the Spanish version, not the English version. And I was like, you know, as much as we want to shit on the TikTok books, it gets people reading, so I cannot say anything more than just that. But yeah, I had a wonderful experience. When I came back home, I sat to kind of like rest my back because I was so tense. Coming down, I kind of like took a wrong turn and took an even smaller road. But I made it out. I made it out. So I was talking to my mom, and she was like, legit telling me, so next year you're gonna go. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. She's like, no, I'm not saying that you are gonna go like you went today. I'm saying like next year you're gonna put a table with your books. And I'm like, I could make it happen, as a weekend kind of thing. It starts pretty early, so we will have to drive like very, very early and come out late at night for 3 days in a row. She's like, no, you stay there. And I'm like, but I had to bring you with me. She's like, no, I stay here with Sam, and you go and stay the weekend there and, sell your books, let people know all the things that you're writing. And I'm like, okay. And they did release the dates for next year at the end of the event on Sunday. I saw them on a story and I screenshot it. I had an idea because I usually do that on the first weekend of December. And this is the third or the fourth year they're doing this, I think. So I wasn't surprised about the dates. But now I have the task that my mama gave me to make this happen. So we shall see, because that will mean that I will put a face on Sally's pen name, and that wasn't my intention, but I might have to do it. I don't know. Unless I do a table like as the publishing house. I don't know. I have to think about it. I do know she's gonna hold me accountable for that, and I did mention it to my brother, and he also was like, yeah, you need to do that. So they're probably gonna ask probably halfway through the year. So that's the other thing that gotta bloom out of this experience and visit. So yeah, that's it. This is again a short video. There is one more Vlogmas video that I am uploading because they were already filmed and almost edited. They just didn't have any closing clips, and I'm doing them now. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.